The Burren and Cliffs Explorer shuttle bus service is set to return for the 2026 season, aiming to connect towns and villages across the north and west of Clare with some of the region's most popular attractions, of course, including the Cliffs of Moher experience and Burren National Park, with public consultation now underway to help shape its future. I'm joined by the Director of Service with Clare County Council, Siobhán McNulty. Siobhán, good morning to you.
Good morning, Alan. How are you?
Very well, thanks very much for being with us. And last year we saw the launch of the Burren and Cliffs Explorer shuttle. How effective do you feel it was? How would you assess its overall success as a pilot scheme?
So as a pilot scheme in year one, we were very delighted actually with the way that the Burren and Cliffs Explorer was embraced by the communities. We have data that indicates that some 47,000 people were ticketed and used the bus. Now, there's anecdotal data that there's probably more than that might have used it, but I suppose we have to work on the stats that we have. And, you know, for a year one pilot to have close on 50,000 people utilising a bus service in North Clare has been hugely welcomed by not only the people and businesses in North Clare, but also by the local authority.
Okay, as you said, those sound like serious numbers, and part of the aims of it, the goals of the service, Siobhán, were to reduce traffic congestion and enhance sustainable tourism. Do you feel it ticked both boxes, or it did to a significant degree, but there's still more work needed?
There's always room for improvement, and in fairness, we've worked very closely with the North Clare Traffic and Transport Integration Group, and you know, within our own within Clare County Council and with the communities to further. It was year one of a pilot. You know, we got it launched in May 2020. 2025, with great haste. So this time we've had time now to plan for the launch of it for 2026, to get out there, to raise its profile, to get more bums on seats, to get more people out of their cars and into the public transport network. And in fairness, we worked really closely with the NTA, TFI, Bus Éireann to ensure that the necklace of public transport is linked up across North Clare. So our timetables align to the timetables and the stops for Bus Éireann and TFI across North Clare for 2026. And that's hugely important because it's all about, you know, for the community and the visitor to be able to traverse throughout the county on public transport without too much discommoding or discomfort.
A key aspect of the service that towns and villages in the vicinity were looking forward to, Siobhán, of course, was an economic boost that they hoped would come. To what extent can you glean whether that economic boost came? Have you received feedback from businesses in places like Lahinch, Dool and Kilfenora, and what are they saying?
So, you know, the places where it was you know, it required buy-in from the community, and then some communities were very active and they were very much engaged and able to embrace, promote. One of our huge successes and lots of positive feedback came from Milltown Malbay. Milltown Malbay community hugely embraced the service, and it was very successful from Milltown. You know, we're conscious of the smaller communities who need a little bit more support to help to grow and embrace. Our objective is all about increased dwell time in the county. So, you know, we're working with the communities then to promote what can you do in Kilfenora. Kilfenora's Burn Centre, we work very closely with them in terms of, you know, what to do, the itineraries from there, how to spend a day in Kilfenora, in Ballyvaugha and in Milltown Malbay. You know, so that's the continued objective is to increase dwell time and to ensure that the community buy-in is there, and the businesses and the accommodation providers can point to their guests and say, if you get the bus here, you can go to all these places and you can go ultimately to the Cliffs of Moher Visitor Experience site if you want, but if you don't, the whole necklace of attractions in North Clare is available to you through this bus service.
So there will be, you know, there's an expansion this year, new stops like Spanish Point and Ennistimon being added. Do you feel, Siobhán, the service needs to expand further and be more comprehensive before you can get a real, truer picture of, I suppose, just how beneficial economically it is to all these places?
I suppose, it was introduced as a pilot initiative by Clare County Council in order to prove that it works. But, this isn't the business of Clare County Council. And we're looking and working with our partners to see, the sustainability, the long term, how can this transition to public service across North Clare, and ultimately if it's a decision to expand it then. But, to measure the viability and to measure the ongoing benefits to the communities, we will have significant statistics at the end of season 2026 that will tell us the number of bums on seats, and we will also then have a lot of information from the communities to see, the viability, to see, what impact has it had in the local communities. Are people using it? And it's very evident because, there's either somebody on the bus or there isn't somebody on the bus. So we have the numbers, and it's down to not saying that, okay, because there's nobody on that bus, we're going to lose that bus. It's about what can you do now to ensure that people know of this service and that they're willing and they're looking to change their modal shifts and move to using bus services across the county.
Aside from the new stops, what other key improvements based on last year's experience that you haven't mentioned already should people keep an eye out for?
So the ask of Clare County Council is that for the communities who have the buses running from, so it's Ballyvaughan, Corfin, Carron, Kilfenora, Doolin, Liscannor, Lahinch, Milltown, and for 2026 Spanish Point and Ennisdiamond, that the accommodation providers, the businesses, that they work with us to promote and to engage to ensure that we get the footfall onto the service. And that, by having people in those communities, that then will raise all boats in terms of economic activity, cups of coffee, accommodation, etc. So that's, again, where we're and again, we work very, very closely with the National Parks and Wildlife Service to serve the National Park. And they could see last year clearly that there was a significant uplift in terms of people using the service to the National Park. Again, hugely welcomed. Clare is the only county in Ireland and who has sustainable tourism destination certificate. And we don't just go after that as a certification and forget about it. We're authentic and true to our objective of sustainable tourism across the county. The particular focus is obviously on North Clare because that's where the significant numbers come. But we're looking across the county in terms of ensuring that our model of sustainable tourism builds and grows as we bed down our services across the county.
It is important to highlight as well, there's consultation sessions coming up. I'm sure people will want to have their say and give feedback and various things they would like to see as part of it, or maybe they'll want stops in their locality, be it listed environment or otherwise. When and where can people check out these consultation sessions, Siobhán?
Actually, sorry, there is a stop in Lisdoonvarna. I didn't list it in my list of L's, but there is a stop in Lisdoonvarna as well. And again, the consultation, there has been extensive consultation that has gone on with the community groups across North Clare. And there are two specific nights, which is advising of the launch, the indicative timetable, taking on some additional feedback to see what other tweaks. Again, you'll see last year that, when it was originally envisaged, we didn't include for Spanish Point. However, for the Willie Clancy Festival, we then brought the service to Spanish Point, and then that became very successful, and then we decided then it made economic and it made sense then to add it into the 2026. So it's all about taking the feedback from those closest on the ground and seeing how we can tweak and improve the service so as I said, it's Wednesday evening in Milltown Malba in the community centre and Thursday in Kilfenora in the Burren Centre from 5:30 to 6:30. There'll be people there and just to view the routes, view the timetable indicative, and to if people have anything to add, just to the comment box, etc., or emails to add there. And for those who cannot attend, there's email addresses advertised for people who want to make direct contact.
Well, no doubt there's going to be a great interest in those public consultations. Siobhán McNulty, Director of Service with Clare County Council. Thanks for being with us on the show.
Well, no bother. Thanks, Alan.